Okay, I'm ready. Hello, this is Eduardo from the Ivory Tower. Today I wanted to talk about my new Jupiter talismans. Yeah, not really new, but I've got so many of these, and I also got the house-based Venus and Jupiter talismans, and also Moon. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to what Agrippa thinks about Jupiter talismans, about what they do. So, according to Agrippa, a Jupiter talisman brings gain and wealth, gratitude, love, peace, and concord with men. It appeases enemies and secures honors, dignities, and counsels. It dissolves sorceries, brings long life, happiness, wealth, honor, and brings benevolence and prosperity, and confirms freedom from enemies. Jupiter is for a religious and glorious life and for dexterity of fortune. Now, the description that I wrote in my talismans is the following. I'm quoting from what I wrote. So, if you're in dire straits and in need of help or want some serenity in your life, or even if you want more opportunities to transform into actual physical wealth, or just need a spiritual guidance boost, then look no further than a Jupiter astrological talisman. This planet has a reputation of being subtle but powerful. Astrological magic community members, as also friends and clients of mine, tested under blind conditions, report a gentle guiding energy active in the background of their lives, with very pleasant effects, like avoiding the usual conflicts with the usual people that create them in their lives. Opportunities also for wealth, meaning clients report and also magicians report opportunities for wealth, like higher paying jobs and business opportunities, showing up in their lives, and a general sense of being protected by a loving, higher spiritual presence they can't quite put their fingers on, that works to just mellow out your day-to-day experience and save your ass when things seem to start to go awry. So, yeah, this is also what I have experienced. This is also what my friends have experienced when I gifted them Jupiter talismans. You kind of feel this weird, not weird, it's like a very humane, comforting, subtle spiritual presence in your life. I mean, kind of like enshrouding you in an energetical, metaphysical cocoon, so to speak. So you almost don't feel it physically, but you feel, in a way, some sort of mellowing, sweet, smooth kind of energy protecting you in your life. It's like if you're one of those people that receives information about stuff in a non-physical way. Sorry. Like if your intuition works through gestalts of, images, concepts, and stuff like that. When you think about your life and your life situation, at least what I perceive is this, again, this kind of very comforting, warm, serene, luminous cocoon, energetic cocoon, enshrouding you from all directions and somehow organizing your life in a way that it just makes you, it just makes things go in a good way. And this is also what people reported to me. It's like it's kind of subtle, but also, again, if somebody you usually have discussions or fights with kind of starts a discussion, like 9 times out of 10, they will not start the discussion. They will be like it will die out before starting, or if it starts, it will be kind of mellowed out. It will be weak. If things, if you're used to having things not going your way, or having bad bouts of luck, of unluck, I guess, of being unlucky, then you will also realize that somehow, some way, things seem to go much better. But the weird thing is that you almost don't notice it. You notice it later when, you know, you're in your bed at the end of the day and you are, you know, summing up everything that happened during the day, and you realize, whoa, I actually had a good day. You know, this thing could have happened, this other thing could have happened, this bad event happened, but it could have it could have gone much, much worse. At the end of the day, it went, actually, I've been very lucky because it went kind of good, considering that, you know, the risks involved. Yeah, so you just, it's no wonder that Jupiter is the higher, like the superior benefic, the greater benefic, because it kind of straightens your life out and gives you luck. This is why I think that people say that Jupiter gives luck. It's because, yes, the events of your life kind of get organized and managed by this loving intelligence. And even if they have to go wrong, because you have to leave a bad thing right now in your life, that bad thing is made so that it goes in the best possible way. This is how I would define the workings, the influences of a Jupiter talisman in one's life. Again, if we go back to the description, Agrippa says that it is for dexterity of fortune. Yes, I can confirm this. From my experience and the experience of clients and friends, yes. Happiness, I mean, yes. Serenity, yes. Peace and concord with men, yes. Again, greater benefic, Venus does that too. Jupiter does it in its own way. It secures honors and dignities and counsels. I guess also I had experience of this. It's just, you know, they say that when you cry alone, and when you laugh, the whole universe laughs with you. It's kind of like this. I think that when you just live your life and you have all this help and you have all these opportunities, and you're feeling better, you're feeling happy, you're feeling peaceful, you have less anxiety, you're feeling more serene thanks to these influences, then of course your life is going to go better, and you are going to naturally be plugged into you know, a network of expansive people, of jovial people that give you opportunities to do things, to do stuff, to expand your life, to expand your views. That is the benevolence of Jupiter. So I think it is only natural that then you gain wealth, honors, dignities. If you are a good person, if you feel well, you act well. If you act well, you become a better person. If you're a better person, people naturally want to be with you. And if, you know, and the more people you know, and the more people know you and feel good with you, the more opportunities you will have, the more friends you will have, and your life will just go better. it's as simple as that. It's one thing after the other. It's causes and consequences. Brings benevolence and prosperity. Yes, I can confirm also. Freedom from enemies. Thank the gods I don't have enemies that I know of. And I intend to keep on not having any enemies. So I don't know about the dissolving of sorceries or securing, the benevolence of enemies. And I'm not sure I want to know. But yeah, I can attest personally to the prosperity bringing opportunities of Jupiter talismans, and the wealth also. Yes, it gives you intuitions, it gives you opportunities. All kinds of jovial people, especially related to spirituality, if you bring value to the table, will actually contact you and ask you to do things for which you will receive money, courses, lessons, conferences, basically jovial situations in which you're called to be jovial, to be a guide to others with what you know. And also it's good to have, mentors and guides for yourself. So you learn from people that are ahead of you, and you teach to people that come after you. It's very jovial as a thing. It's something that I appreciate really very much. So also, yeah, more clients that show up, more business opportunities. And again, you have to take those and do something with those, because nothing is going to, appear into your life magically without any kind of effort. Sometimes it will, but many times you have to go, you have to meet the spirits of the talismans halfway. They will present to you many opportunities. You will notice that you will receive and you will be presented with many opportunities than before you had the talismans. And you're gonna have to grab those and do something with them. And if you do, then you're gonna get richer, of course. And you're gonna receive more honors and more dignities and more stuff like that. So let's take a look at the elections of these talismans. We will start with, here we go, the Jupiter and Venus, house-based in Pisces. So I don't know if you can see them. These are these ones. I've got 3 silver-plated rings here, 1 quartz sphere, and 3 carnelian cabochons. And as you can see, the election is quite good. I have right now 5 different batches of Jupiter talismans that I will be presenting in this video. And I lost my shoe, okay. So basically each election here is pretty freaking awesome. And as you can see here, we got the Lord of the First House, which is Jupiter, which is angular in Pisces. We got the Moon, Venus, and Jupiter on the ascendant. We got this beautiful mutual reception by between Jupiter and Venus. Venus receives Jupiter by exaltation and applies a conjunction to it. Jupiter receives Venus by domicile. We got the Moon being conjunct Venus. All 3 are angular. The malefics are in the 12th house, inactive, not aspecting anything of value. And yeah, this is quite good because everything is angular. We got this beautiful reception. Both we also got the part of fortune in the first house, almost conjunct, almost in the second house, but still in the first. And we got the 2 benefics angular on the ascendant. This is incredible. And also the Moon is conjunct basically both Venus first, but both, everything is angular, and so mainly this is for houses 1, 2, 9, and 10. We also got many also different houses that are connected to the lord of the first house, which is Jupiter. Also the house is ruled by Mercury sextiling Jupiter very tightly. This is a shitty reception because Jupiter is in Pisces and Mercury in Pisces is in its fall, but it's still a sextile. As you can see here, it will show product unavailable. All my talismans are available. This is just Facebook not wanting to, enabling this feature for people that are not residing in America. But basically, yes, all my products are available. So we got, if you look at the description and we look at the election. So yeah, Jupiter, Venus, and the Moon are rising and conjunct, dignified in many ways. The Moon has triplicity and it's being received by exaltation by Venus, thanks to the conjunction to the lesser benefic Venus, which is L2. So again, money, the Moon going toward Venus, which is the L2, and then the L2 going toward Jupiter, which is the L1. So this is good also for money. Venus is exalted and conjunct Jupiter, her lord. Jupiter is also L1, L9, and L10, so this is also beautiful for higher knowledge, success at work, and career. Everything is angular and ready to act. This creates a lot of advantages for the user. First house in the fields of material wealth, second house, love, sex, and creativity, the fifth house, which should be ruled by Cancer, right? Yes. Higher knowledge, spirituality, and faith, ninth house, and also in the fields of career, fame, and work, as I said before, 10th house. As a bonus, Mercury, which is L3, L4, and L7, with little dignities, but still it's not cadent, but with a very strong Venus being his lord, applies a partile sextile to Jupiter L1. Mildly facilitating and harmonizing for the user of the talisman everything regarding communication and thought, third house, family and home matters, which is fourth house, and love and relationships, seventh house. Again, the malefics are tucked away into the 12th. All around a very beautiful election, a very beautiful house-based talisman. No day, no hour. However, when you got everything which is angular and also the Moon being conjunct the significators, you basically have it's like the Moon signals what is going on, what will go on, and if she's applying such tight aspects and also not aspecting anything else, then of course it's like the astrological clock is saying this is happening, and then everything is also angular, so even more ready to act and more active. So it would have been good if we got the day or the hour of either Jupiter or Venus, but again, these are house based, and the stuff that the Moon applies to, and also the ascendant, and also the angles are fundamental factors to ascertain what is going on and what is acting in the talisman. So hour and day would have been a nice bonus. However, everything is ready to act and acting actually because it's angular. And these are the house-based. Then we move on to Jupiter in Pisces, conjunct the Moon, the part of fortune, and square Mercury and Venus. So these are December the 1st, yes. Let's see if you can see those. Now, as you can see, there are lapis lazuli cabochons. If you want, I have rings, or if you want, you can just use the cabochon. It doesn't matter. Then we have two chalcedony talismans of Jupiter, and then these are made of steel. I got two, actually three, Bilawanus against the sciatica Jupiter talismans. So if we take a look at the election, we can see that, oh, by the way, all these elections of all these talismans, all 5 batches of talismans, the Lord of the First is either dignified, either exalted, or it's at minimum angular and conjunct benefic, never peregrine, either having some sort of dignity like triplicity or something. You will see. Yeah, these are just very good elections. You can say maybe that, oh, by the way, Jupiter is at 28 degrees. As you can see in the next ones, we also have Jupiter at 28, sometimes at 27, one at 29, because I wanted to take all opportunities. However, you will see that one way or the other, we have so many freaking good factors which remediate, in my opinion, which make the elections and the talismans strong. I can personally say that they are pretty strong and pretty good. They really work. So as you can see, the Lord of the First is the Moon. The Moon is conjunct to Jupiter, separating from all other things, separating from Mars in the 12th, separating from Saturn, which is not aspecting anything right now, just Venus. Basically, we have this beautiful situation here where Jupiter is culminating. Again, everything is kept inside the time window so that the MC would not switch to Aries. So I stopped everything. I managed to do everything and to create the talismans and stop before the MC actually switched to Aries. This is very important. So we can see that the Moon is going to conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is going to conjunct the part of Fortune. All 3 are angular. As you can see, 2950, 2410, within 5 degrees, almost 6. However, angularity is retained up to 8 degrees. If I have to sell talismans, I do not go beyond 5 or so. So as you can see, we also, by the way, got a square here by Mercury and by Venus, both received by Jupiter. They are cadent in the 6th. But, you know, this square of Venus to Jupiter, it's still a square with mutual reception, because Venus is received by Jupiter by domicile because she's in Sagittarius, and Jupiter is being received by Venus by exaltation because Jupiter is in Pisces, and of course in its domicile. So, very good election. Some defects, it's not excellent, it's not perfect, but it's very, very freaking good, especially with the part of Fortune being conjunct an angle and the main significator and the Moon going toward it. Especially the main significator, Jupiter, applying this conjunction. So then we have Jupiter in Pisces. These are made the 1st of December. These should be the lapis lazuli and amethyst ones. Yeah. These ones. As you can see here, let's see if you can... Do you see them? Yes, you do. So... these ones, again, to preserve angularity of both the Moon and Jupiter, I started when the ascendant was at 23 degrees, so that Jupiter was within 5 degrees of the ascendant, and I ended when the ascendant was at around 25 something, so that the Moon would be preserved in its angularity and would be still conjunct to the ascendant within 5 degrees again. So we got, again, the Lord of the first house, which is Jupiter, in domicile, angular, away from aspects to malefics. Mars is cadent in the 3rd house, and it's retrograde, so it is separating from both the Moon and Jupiter. They are both separating from each other at very high speed. And the Moon is applying a square to Mercury, and Venus is actually applying a square to Jupiter, again, from the 9th house, which is not like the 6th, like the previous election. It's the 9th, and actually Venus is also applying a square to the ascendant, so we have an aspect from a benefic to the ascendant too. Again, everything is angular here. The moon is applying a conjunction to Jupiter. It's a distant one, but still it's angular. Jupiter is also angular. Yeah, everything considered, it is a good election. Again, part of fortune is angular. Saturn not aspecting anything, aspecting Venus, but we don't care about Venus in this election. Maybe the square from Mercury and from Venus, probably from Venus, is bonifying a bit Jupiter. But in any case, again, Jupiter in domicile, Jupiter angular. The moon is angular too. The moon is also going to conjunct Jupiter. This is all you want in a Jupiter talisman. So we go to, these are the 27th of April. This is Jupiter culminating, and these are pretty freaking cool. Yes, it's these ones. And now I'll tell you why. Because there is a very beautiful condition of the moon. We got here 2 lapis lazuli rings made in iron, colored in antique bronze color. Then we got 2 gold-plated lapis lazuli ring and 1 sphere, 1 quartz sphere. And yeah, so basically we got everything culminating. Again, Cancer ascendant. This means that the lord of the first house is the moon. The moon is in triplicity, angular, and it is enclosed between the 2 benefics. This means that it's separating from Venus and applying to a conjunction to Jupiter. So very freaking good kind of election. Also, all 3 are applying a sextile to the part of fortune in Gemini. It is out of signs, but it's still within orb, so even better. From the 11th, so even better. And yeah, the moon, which is L1, is bonified in an incredible way because of this enclosure by benefics. If you study traditional astrology, you know that when the moon is under siege, it is the opposite condition. It is a very bad condition. It is like going from there was an English idiom, I don't remember it now, like going from the frying pan to the fire or something like that. Anyway, the general sense is that you go from one bad thing to another bad thing, separating from an aspect or a conjunction from a malefic and applying instantaneously to the other malefic. That is very bad, and of course portends all sorts of bad things. Would be great for a course talisman, actually, to have something like that. This is the exact opposite. The moon is enclosed by benefics, so it's like, and even more, it's separating from the lesser benefic and applying to the greater benefic. So it's like going from a good thing to an excellent, even better thing. Again, everything is angular here. Again, everything is preserved by 5 degrees from the MC, from the medium Celi, which is at 23 degrees of Pisces. Jupiter is at 27, that's 4 degrees, even less. Nothing going on with the malefics. Yeah. So, yeah, it's enclosed and also sextiling the part of fortune, the moon. So again, moon, lord of the first, pretty freaking good condition. And the main significator, because it's a Jupiter in Pisces talisman, is conjunct the moon, and it's also bonified by the presence and the conjunction of Venus. And angular, and in domicile. And sextiling the part of fortune too. So yeah, pretty freaking good talismans here. Yeah, nothing else to say about these. And the last batch was, these are the December ones. Again, these are all lapis lazuli and amethyst cabochons. I don't know if you can see them pretty well. So these ones, these have Jupiter at the 29th degree of Pisces, which I know it's not the best, especially when they say that it's just about to change dignities. These are the malefic terms of Saturn, okay. But at the same time, we got here a square from Venus with mutual reception, bonifying Jupiter. Venus aspecting also the MC and the IC axis. And then we got also the Lord of the first house, which is the Moon, in the 11th house, which is the house of the good daimon. Wonderful. Exalted in Taurus, away from Algol by 2 degrees, sextiling Jupiter as her next aspect. So the Moon is also bonified by Jupiter. And also receiving him by triplicity, if I'm not mistaken. I always forget if the triplicity of day and night, according to Dorotheus. Anyway, the Moon is sextiling and trining the MC-IC axis too. So separating from Saturn by 8 degrees, so it's well the hell away. Oh, and also, by the way, it's also trining the part of Fortune too, which is angular. So, again, if you are weirded out by the 29th degree and by also the 28th degree of the Moon in Taurus, first of all, I didn't have any sort of bad experiences from these Jupiter talismans. And then we also got, you know, the Lord of the first house, which is essentially dignified because it is exalted in Taurus, away from Algol and in the 11th house, which is also a good house, aspecting the angular houses. Also, oh, by the way, it is also aspecting by sextile the ascendant, right? No, it's actually separating, whatever, but it's applying a sextile to Jupiter. So it's both bonified by the sextile of Jupiter, because Jupiter helps the Moon. And also, there's this contact between the Moon and the Lord of the first house, which is Jupiter. So basically, this could be also seen as a house-based talisman in a way. Especially if you think that that's the first, that's the 10th, the first, and then we got the 6th. So basically, the Lord of the 6th and the 10th, which is Jupiter, is applying, sorry, the Lord of the first is applying to Jupiter. So this is also good for career and probably also for, you know, not having diseases, being protected from diseases. Yeah, and then we also got the main significator, which is Jupiter, also squared by Venus, with mutual reception, by exaltation and by domicile. So even more bonified. So, I mean, we have just so many good factors. This election, again, it's not perfect because of the 29th and the 28th degree of Jupiter and the Moon. But I mean, it's a pretty fucking good election, if you ask me. Yeah, so what else? I think everything is... Oh, by the way, the Bilawanus anti-sciatica talismans were made during a Jupiter election with all the factors, but they are in steel. They actually ask the user to make them in lead, but I figured steel would be good anyway. I mean, it's a freaking Jupiter talisman. Why make them in lead, which is associated to Saturn? That was weird. So I was like, well, maybe it's because the image is a fish, eating the lower back. I mean, eating a man from its lower back. So in a way, it represents Jupiter eating away your sciatica pain and disease. I don't know. But I figured, since I don't have any lead and I don't want to work with lead because I care about my health, you know, I used steel, which is more of a martial kind of metal. However, it is also associated, iron is also associated to Saturn. So I figured it would be a good substitution. And the Chalcedony ones tend to have more of a riches and victory, you know, in legal battles and stuff like that kind of quality. And yeah, but in the end, I mean, you're still gonna get a Jupiter talisman. So you're gonna get all the Jupiter good things. You're gonna get all the Jupiter effects. And yeah, again, these are pretty subtle. Clifford says that since Jupiter is the planet that is most like the air, it sustains your life, but it's difficult to perceive. I found this metaphor to be kind of true. I found that it is a pretty subtle planet, especially if you think about it being the greater benefic. And you expect, you know, fireworks, unicorns, and explosions, and incredibly good things popping out of nowhere. But I found that it works in a more subtle way. Jupiter talismans work in a more subtle way. And it's difficult to perceive them unless you stop after maybe weeks that you had one. You look back to your life and you realize that somehow, some way, compared to the life that you had before, something went better. Everything just got better. It's kind of like the spirit of the talisman it combines, it manages, it organizes, here we go, it organizes the events of your life in a way that everything seems to go well, even bad things. So that's why Agrippa says that it is for dexterity of luck, dexterity of luck. Yes, indeed it is. So that's it for today. Thank you for being with me. Again, if you want to order these talismans, they are available, of course, until we run out of them. Contact me through my page. If you want to give me a donation, everything is down in the description box below if you're watching this from YouTube. What else? You know, my Facebook page is at Eidos the Ivory Tower. Again, all links are in the description box. And again, if you go to the shop and it shows that these things are not available, they are available. It's just a bug of Facebook. It's just something that Facebook does. So if you want to buy talismans or have a consultation with me or anything, just contact me through the Facebook page, through the Telegram channel, or whatever, you know, or also send me a message on Facebook if you want. Send a message to my page and we will arrange for payment and shipment. So again, these have been my experiences with Jupiter. These have been the experiences of clients, friends, and you know, this is also what the tradition tells us Jupiter talismans do. So yeah, pretty good addition to have in your tool belt of talismans. And yeah, that's it for this video. And now I will go back to my ivory tower as always. Goodbye.